Monita Rajpal. Welcome to this special edition of Art of Life, our entire program dedicated to the fashion designer Tom Ford. Here on Madison Avenue, his new store housing the Tom Ford menswear line, his first fashion offering since leaving Gucci and Yves Saint Laurent in 2004. But Tom Ford hasn't been idle. He's created men's and women's fragrances, a beauty line, sunglasses, and he's on the verge of expanding globally. This month, Art of Life goes inside his life, inside his home. It's unprecedented access.
Come on in.
It's quite the fete for you.
Well, it is, and it's just starting. I hope it goes on really late.
How does it feel to be here? I mean, this is...
You know, it's nice because Milan, well, I lived in Milan for 4 years back in the early 90s, and the best things in my life professionally have happened to me in Milan, and also really a lot of the best things personally have happened to me. I mean, I have so many wonderful friends here, so it feels like home, and I love Milan, and it feels great. I have to say, I've been here for the last 10 days putting the showroom together, getting the collection done, shooting the ad campaigns, and it's wonderful.
Tom Ford makes his triumphant return to Milan for one of his many fragrance lines, Tom Ford for Men. The last time journalists here came out in force to applaud his talents, it was early 2004, when he presented the final ready-to-wear collection for Gucci. A decade as the Gucci Group's creative director, he became the brand. Confident, sensual, desirable, qualities reflected in the clothes he designed. But failed negotiations with the parent company, PPR, meant he had to leave the house he'd resurrected. Shortly afterwards, his swan song from Yves Saint Laurent, his days with the Gucci Group officially over.
I grew so much in the 15 years I was at Gucci. Working at Saint Laurent was also something I learned an enormous amount about how to construct women's clothes. It was very different than my experience at Gucci. I always knew how to make clothes. I knew how to cut and drape and sew myself. Not very well, but I can certainly do it. But I learned a lot from Saint Laurent from my 4 years working with those wonderful ateliers where people really do still make things by hand. And I learned a lot because of the fact that the whole thing fell apart and I was no longer going to be happy in the company, and I decided to leave. So, as I said to you earlier, it really might have been the prelude and prepared me for what will now be my own company, Tom Ford.
I do love this.
I love this suit as well.
And with his own company, the return of the dynamic duo, or the Tom and Dom show, as it was known in fashion circles. Back in the days of Gucci, Vice Chairman Tom Ford and Chairman Domenico De Sole enjoyed a close working relationship, taking Gucci from near bankruptcy to a $10 billion empire. Their current partnership, the Tom Ford menswear line.
Milan Fashion Week's happening right now. Do you feel a little bit left out?
No, I chose not to show. Absolutely. You know, I used to do 16 collections a year, 8 runway shows a year for years. I've felt that. I know the pressure to constantly produce a hit. And I did not want to concentrate on building a collection for the press. I wanted to concentrate on building a collection for the customer. So I purposefully said, I'm not doing this.
No runway shows, but a freestanding store on New York's Madison Avenue, infused with the kind of elegance that typifies a Tom Ford project. At Gucci, he made good taste available to the masses. Here, it's impeccable tailoring for the man who can afford the very best.
Tell me about this is your menswear line. Why did you want to start with menswear, and what do you think the style represents?
Well, it wasn't so much that I wanted to start with menswear, it was that when I left Gucci, I went out to try to buy something to wear and I couldn't find anything. A lot of fashion brands are very trendy. I was a little bit younger when I was first at Gucci, and I think I did quite a few collections that pushed fashion, men's fashion, in a certain direction. But I was a little too old to wear those things. The quality from a lot of our competitors wasn't up to my standard. So then I started having all of my clothes made in London, where I lived part of the time on Savile Row. And that was a very dry experience. There was really the need for something that I don't think's ever existed for men before, which is a cross between a Savile Row tailor and a fashion company.
How different is it when you see your name, plus, I mean, comparing it to when you saw your designs for another company, when you're walking, this is all yours.
It is. Well, it's wonderful, I have to say, because when you're working with another company, I always inherited a certain framework. Some of the things about that framework I liked, some I didn't like, and then I grafted a bit of my personality onto that. But this is really something from the ground up, so it's one of the first times in my career that I could walk through any store or any room or look at any packaging, and I love every bit of it because I did it from the ground up. So it's wonderful.
Freestanding Tom Ford stores are planned for London, Milan, Los Angeles, and Hawaii in the next 3 years. 100 stores in total will dot the fashion landscape within a decade.
I think the market is ready for it because he's got a totally unique product. Where he's going right is that what he's doing something that no one else is doing. So sort of different to what is happening in the marketplace in terms of style, in terms of entry points, amount of product. I mean, it's very, very clever. It's brave, but I think it'll work.
What I think makes this store very special is that Tom has always been a great innovator. I think if you go back, Tom never took the easy way in doing things. There was always an effort through the years of Gucci in here to be an innovator, to do something new and special that is different. And I think that's also true in the store. He wanted to do something that was really very uniquely Tom Ford.
We have a very well-developed business plan. We've been doing this for quite a long time. Domenico De Sole, who is my partner, and I have worked together for about the last 15 years. At this point, we have quite accurate costs, we think. So our current business plan shows us breaking even at the end of 2010. So if we've planned accurately, I think we might even do better than that because we've been very conservative in our planning. So it is possible and will be possible, I hope, to also make a lot of money at this.
Tom Ford on Art of Life. More in just a few moments, including...
Even though I didn't want to leave Gucci at that time, and it was quite traumatic for me, I tried to learn something from it. And the thing I learned was that I never ever in my life want to retire.
Revelations about the past, plans for the future. That interview after the break.